Shortly after my finale video a few days ago, as of this recording, and I uploaded the video, and that morning I went back to playing Black Myth Wukong. It was over. I started New Game Plus, and it started me over all the way from the beginning, from the very first intro scene. And I got chill bumps, and I got re-excited all over again. So I said, you know what? I want to just do the first 2 chapters on New Game Plus. Then I have to move on. I have so many other games to play right now. And as someone who's played over 50 hours of Black Myth Wukong, recorded footage, edited footage, uploaded footage on TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. My life has been Black Myth Wukong for almost 3 weeks now. Having a detox out of that, usually I have to delete the game and uninstall the game to completely get away from it and go play something different, because everything that I hear is Journey to the West, the drums, the wallpaper on my PC that you can see right now. Everything is Black Myth Wukong. All the comments I'm still getting on my videos. So it's very difficult for me to move on after I've immersed myself in something as amazing as Black Myth Wukong and other games I've played in the past. So I got into chapter 2, absolutely obliterated everybody. Any boss that gave me trouble, I went back and beat the shit out of them. And I was so excited. I was so happy. Then finally I said it's time for the journey to truly end. And I finally deleted the game. I uninstalled Black Myth Wukong, and I said I will be back. I will be back whenever the DLC is announced, or they give us a big update mode or something in the future. So then I've been sitting down watching these recaps of the story explained, a lot more clarification of some story details that I missed here and there, and I ended up re-downloading Black Myth Wukong again. And let me know I had one more thing to do, and that one more thing is an epilogue, because at the end of my video that I was a crying emotional mess, I was telling you my journey of what I went through, what I've been going through, that the Journey to the West, that the Black Myth Wukong game has helped me get through. But now as a gamer and as a critiquer, I want to go through everything from the beginning, chapter 1, all the way to the end. I want to tell you some behind the scenes things, what I was thinking, what I was going through as I was fighting certain bosses, as certain story things was happening. It's a lot of things that I didn't mention that I probably wasn't able to. I had to cut out of videos due to time constraints and me trying to get the video uploaded. And more so, this is just going to be an explanation of why I believe that Black Myth Wukong is not only a masterpiece of a video game, it's not perfect, but it was a masterpiece for me. It was a promise that was given to me via Game Science and all the trailers and their marketing over for 4 years, and they delivered on that promise. So this is going to be the explanation in the epilogue, all things Black Myth Wukong. So almost immediately, this opening cinematic was even more hyped than anything that I could have ever imagined. On top of it starting off from the main menu with the one single shot like they do in the God of War games. Of course, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a Kratos guy, God of War guy. One of my favorite games of all time ever created. So that being the one shot, then we flying in on the Nimbus Cloud. At the time, I was thinking Nimbus Cloud from Dragon Ball Z, but that actually being the Somersault Cloud, obviously from the Journey from the West, for Wukong, him pulling up crazy to the 4 Heavenly Kings. I also learned too, of course I learned so much lore thanks to y'all, that I guess in the lore or in the mythology or in the Journey to the West, that Wukong and Erlang are technically the only 2 that can really get that big. But they just obviously flipped it around for for the game here. But when this starts out, mind you, I was listening. I was playing in the Chinese version, and I want to say something about that as well too. So not so many, but I had a few people, Americans in particular, saying like, why are you listening to the Chinese version? You're not Chinese, you're American, you need to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, clearly you don't know me, because I actually have a separate channel, which is a Kamen Rider channel, where I watch probably well over 100 videos of Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider 01 that was only in Japanese, and so I have over 100 episodes just that alone in Japanese. But I've always been like that. I've always if I'm watching something that's in a certain culture or in a certain whatever, I like to watch it in that native tongue. So if I played Ghost of Tsushima for the first time, that's only in Japanese. Well, when I watched Godzilla -1, the same thing. Like anything that's of the culture that's not American, I watched in that language and with the subtitles, because you get to feel that emotion is just so much better. So it was never like, oh, I'm going to do this to please, you know, the Chinese gaming community. It was just my preference is how I am. But I didn't know it was such a big deal until I saw so many comments saying, thank you for playing this in the Chinese language. But for me, it's just normal. That's what I always done. That's what I've always do, even before YouTube. It's always the same way. That's why when I see someone watching a movie like a Netflix film, and it's like a Spanish film, because my wife is Spanish and I'm bilingual as well. Mi español es perfecto. So when I see someone watching like Narcos, and they was watching a Spanish show in English, it just boggles my mind. Like, how can you don't feel that same? Anyway, so I did that, and the Chinese voice actor for Wukong is just phenomenal. Now, again, I don't know how he was perceived in the book or previous stuff like that, but for me, like, as soon as he spoke, that's the exact voice that I had with the visual of Sun Wukong. And the same thing goes for Erlang as well too. He seems very smug, very dark tone, and that's the tone that they gave him as well too. So this fight was absolutely epic. I mean, going in, and of course I'm not going to do it frame by frame, but them just going in like this and just giving us freaking shot for shot of how it's going to be, like how powerful you are as Wukong, and just finally with everything that happens here. And of course, having this fight, you know, you having all his abilities, and which is even crazy because he don't have all 4 technically. He only has 3, and by the time we got to fight him at the end, we had all 4 plus 2 other things. So we actually had more power and spells than Wukong did himself. But this whole thing was epic up until, you know, we crashed down here. And now knowing more about the lore, thanks to the I watched the Luigi guy do about the Black Myth Wukong explain, and now I understand the whole thing about Stone Monkey, because apparently Sun Wukong was born from a stone, so now he went back to being in the Stone Monkey. So he or she stayed here up until the Destined One returned. That's why they trained up all the monkeys and stuff now, to see one day someone's going to return to be the Destined One, and he's going to be there to make sure that the crown, sorry, I don't know the actual name, I don't want to have to look it up, is going to be put on the Destined One's head, so they can too be restricted. They can be controlled as well by you know, by Buddha, you know, in the celestial court and stuff like that. So technically, this person here, if I'm understanding right, is like the fucking police. He's like the ops, bro. So I'm saying he's there just to maintain all. That's why he was talking so much shit at the end. But of course, we don't know that right now. At least at the time, I didn't know that. I'm just like, okay, now we get to start fresh with a brand new monkey, and he happens to be the Destined One, one of the coolest opening cinematic title screens that I've got in the game, period. Then of course we run into that first G check, the Wandering White. Now I knew this game was going to be a bit difficult, but I was not ready for how difficult this game was going to be, and I think it was the same way for a lot of people that ran into him. Because if you played Elden Ring, you know it's a guy that rides a horse. As soon as you open up into the world, to the land betweens, called a Tree Sentinel. And again, if you've been around a while, you know that guy took me about 3,000 tries and many hours to beat. And I think this is the same way with him. Now I know you could technically skip him and come back later, but I'm very stubborn, I'm very persistent. So once I realized I couldn't beat him, I was like, I'm not moving forward until he's freaking done. And mind you, I was recording this late at night. I hadn't recorded late for a very long time. It was a very long time that I was recording that late. And the fact that I knuckled up and finally was able to beat this guy. Now at this point here, when I realized I couldn't get that skill and I kind of just progressed on, I was so mad because when I went back, he was gone. But of course, I found out later that, you know, all your skills that you acquire, all your spirits, will be given back to you as soon as you get to your next rest. But again, here at this point, I didn't know shit. A lot of people didn't know shit. I was just excited just to be here, bro. And I was recording and I was just trying to get to like until like one more boss, just so the video could really be epic. Usually whenever I'm recording, especially if it's the first time playing the video, I usually try to do like a first hour or so. And yeah, but luckily at this time too, I think Hollow had uploaded, and usually because he's one of my favorite YouTubers, I'm trying to see how far did he get, so I kind of like skip forward just a little bit to see exactly where he was at, and he was fighting this wolf that I'm about to fight. So I was like, okay, and I said that's where his video ended. So I was like, I'm gonna do around about the same. So yes, I try to copy Hollow a lot. He's a big inspiration to me. But yeah, so we finally get up in here. Now at this time, I thought this was actually the final boss. I thought this was the end boss, Lingozi. Just a freaking wolf, remind me of Malachi from Elden Ring, but he was much easier than the one there, right? Of course, we was a bit stronger too as well. We had beat that fire guy. I may have skipped over him. You know, the transformation. So of course, most beast in games, at least Souls-like games. Now I think this is more like a Wukong-like game, as I'm going to start saying. I saw this somewhere on Twitter that they're usually weak to fire. So at this point, I was a little more comfortable, and yeah, so we whooped him pretty easy. But again, as I was ending this video and I was editing this video, I thought this was the final boss of the chapter. I had no idea we had many more trials and tribulations to come before we even got to the final boss. But I thought this was the boss at the time, which is why I ended the video. But it was late that night too, and to be honest, I had never really uploaded that late. I figured my Wukong videos was gonna do decent, like 1 to 5K, and that's doing really good for my channel. So when I uploaded that night, and I woke up, I think it was like, I don't know, it was way more views than what I normally would get, and I saw people like freaking out. And of course, everyone was hyped and excited about it as well too. But I had uploaded way more intricate, well edited more videos than that in the past. So that one was actually a quick edit because I had to stay up to like 2 o'clock in the morning to get that shit uploaded in 4K in particular. But anyway, so once I saw how hype and everyone was, I thought it was going to be a fluke, and I was like, you know what, man, that was the first video. I haven't done a full playthrough on a game since January, which was Tekken. So it's been like 8 months since I did a full playthrough, and I was like, all right, man, the next few videos are going to suck, but whatever. And shit progressively got better and better. I got more deep off into the lore. Yeah, man, it was just a blast from here. And up until this point, every other boss was like trial and error. Like this boss here, I thought he was bullshit just because he can disappear and he's already that damn big. So being able to vanish when you that big, bro, like, come on, man, give me a break, you know. But yeah, this is when I finally realized, like, oh, okay, this is the final boss. You know, with the setting, you can kind of tell like the boss arena, and I kind of knew like, okay, that's when the shit is hitting the fan. This fight was pretty tough, but at this point, still up until, no, this fight was tough. Now, yeah, this one was tough because I always have a problem in video games with big ass enemies like this that move really fast. And he had that second form as well too. Now, but since I beat the game, I went back on New Game Plus and I just destroyed him. Obviously, I'm powerful. I know what I'm doing. I've died like 1,000,000 times, over 50 hours in the game. But this is one of my favorite boss fights in the game, by the way, because this is one of the first visuals that I saw during the trailer promotions and stuff like that. Was the big fire bear, and this was a good fight. But the best part about it was something I wasn't expecting. Obviously, was the end chapter animation, because I was like hating this guy, and once I started watching the animation, and for whatever reason, I guess because it's in Chinese, like I have to focus more. That's another thing as well too, while like watching other languages, like I really have to lock in. Whenever I was watching the TV show Shogun about the samurai, that show was all in Japanese, so I can't be texting, I can't be bullshitting off, or like I have to look, or I'm gonna miss what's going on. So watching these animations in Chinese in particular, and like having to focus in and having to really look at the visual. It's like whenever you're a blind person, someone is blind, but your hearing is enhanced, or whatever, you're deaf and your vision is enhanced. So it's taking away one of my senses. It's taking away one of my senses that I use. So I have to focus more, and in turn, that makes me feel more. It's hard to explain. You may get what I'm saying, but that animation really put in context. Oh, okay, this is the type of game that I'm playing. It's more than just a boss rush. They're telling a very intricate, cultural, special story, and boy, did I know. Little did I know at this time. Wow. And from a back end standpoint, at this time, I uploaded 1 or 2 videos, some shorts, and across the board. I know, like, my first video was heading towards 100,000 views. On TikTok, it was going crazy. It's on that video, that short in particular of my opening reaction is over 1 million views. The channels, I mean, things was going crazy. So on top of, it was like the mix. It was like the best of everything, because it's a game that I'm truly in love with. It's a game I've been hyped about, I've been talking about for 4 years. It's a game that I have a community for, because I've been covering the game. The views are going crazy. It's on PlayStation 5. It's just, everything just lined up perfectly, and that almost never happens. And I can't thank y'all enough. But we was just getting started. Then going over to chapter 2. So we start chapter 2 in this desert. We have like buku arrows in us. Buku is like a lot in slang here in New Orleans. And the headless guy freaking singing this song on his ukulele or guitar. Mind you, this is from the trailer as well. We saw so much in the trailer. Not going back, I wish I wouldn't have seen so much. But again, it was a new studio that was trying to prove that, hey, we have a very, really cool fucking game. And so I understand it. You know, they had to attract more devs to come help them. You know, I did the history of game science, the whole deal, so on and so forth. So this chapter was going pretty decent. It was annoying, but I used some YouTube guides here and there to kind of help me show where I was going. So everything was going well until I met the hardest fucking boss in the game. Still, right now, as I've beaten the game, this boss, Tiger Vanguard, was harder than freaking Great Sage Broken Shell and Erlang. Tiger Vanguard took me longer than any boss I've ever had to fight in a video game besides the Tree Sentinel. This guy took me days. I think maybe 2 to 3 days total. I know one day in particular, I started recording at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't beat him until like maybe 3 to 4 o'clock that day. And I still had to edit the video and get the video out that night. And of course, it's one of the most viewed videos. It's because people was my pain. But originally, when I did that edit, which is still one of my favorite edits I've done, I was like with the Buddhist chant music. It wasn't supposed to be that, because initially when this fight started, I went in and I said, this guy is just a big ass cat. And when I said that, and Conor McGregor had said this thing a long time ago, he was like, "What is he?"
You know what that means? Pussy.
So when he said, so that's the original edit that I had, but I know saying that YouTube don't like that, so I edited it out so to just when Conor was laughing that. Huh? And I already had the cut. Then of course I just kind of moved around whenever I raised off and I hit my fucking chair. And I think I did that after I beat him actually, which is crazy. But it's amazing in the editing bay, because I edit my own videos. A lot of times I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do until it happens. I usually have like an outline, so I go into the chapter. So as soon as I fight like a big fancy boss like this, I know like, okay, this guy's gonna take me a while. So I know I'm gonna have a rage montage, because I know it's gonna take me a while to beat this guy. But I always try to have a theme, and this one was just like perseverance and like repetition and anger. And that's how I kind of get my outline on my video, at least the intros, because that's what attracts everybody. I mean, usually most people that click on my videos, I give you that heat for the first 2 minutes, so you kind of know like, okay, this guy's not fucking around. But by far the hardest boss in the game, and again, you'll see at the end of this video, I probably put it in there, but I went back to New Game Plus. I beat the shit out of him with every magic trick that I had. He didn't have a chance first try, again, because I'm super powerful now, and I'm the destined one. But it felt good going back in there, because I reinstalled it again, because I got to play Space Marine and Astrobot, Plucky Squad, all these other games they sent me. I just wanted to, I had to get back to this point just to come whoop his ass, and I danced on his body. But by far, easily the hardest boss in the game for me, no question. Then we roll up on one of the craziest side quests I've ever experienced in the game. From having to meet the hall guy, he's drunk, get him, fight him, he take you through a hole in the wall, you fight the other tiger guy, then you finally get here. I'm thinking I gotta fight him, and he's like, no, it's a big ass big bag beetle board transformer coming out the ground. The damn beetle comes out the ground like this, so I'm like, holy shit, this is food, but who can I fight? Mind you, this is a side quest, and thank God it is, because of course you have to do these side quests in order to get the secret true ending, which again I would have never probably done if y'all wasn't on my ass like y'all was. So this fight was freaking epic. Especially my video, and I know a lot of y'all watch if you're watching this. Like I only had 1 HP left. I was dead, and I was just kind of standing on my stick and letting the OG fight him. And once he jumped in and he did his whole stick, it was a wrap. But this is important because a lot of people's most difficult boss was the I can't remember his name. The boss at the end. I think it's the Sage something, the Yellow Sage, whatever that boss name is. You needed to beat this boss first to make that fight easier. You know, in order to get the Wind Tamer thing. In order to get the Wind Tamer thing. So this boss was very, very important. So luckily, again, my community was telling me this. And going to YouTube, that's the only way I knew, which made the final boss for me way, way easier. The Yellow Wind Sage. So once he started doing this shit, we had that emblem, the vessel, and that just made this fight a whole lot easier. And that's why this fight wasn't much trouble. I think I beat him 3 or 4 tries in this chapter. But yeah, this was a very, very cool chapter. Initially I wasn't liking it so much because I was in the desert, but little did I know how much I would miss chapter 2 as the game progressed. And of course, this end animation on this one hit just as hard as the first one, if not even more, because now they changed over to claymation, to stop motion. And some of the true channel OGs know for a while there I was posting like Robot Chicken clips, not me, and it just basically stealing and reposting Robot Chicken clips, re-edited to make it funny. And a lot of those videos got like millions of views, which is why my sub count got inflated. But I didn't have any emotion when I would post one of my videos, because I would get 10, 20,000 subs off 1 or 2 Robot Chicken clips, which my biggest regret ever. But now we finally shaking back because I stayed true and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the point of me saying all of that is because I have a very, very favorable bias when it comes to these type of animations and these type of graphics. And holy shit, what a story this was. And this one, probably besides the end, the secret end animation, I think this was my favorite as for art and animation. Not necessarily the story altogether, but the animation and the art on this one was definitely by far my favorite one. This was very, very, very cool. Then we make it over to chapter 3, and without any questions or hesitation, the chapter I hated the most annoying, not only chapter in Black Myth Wukong, maybe one of the most annoying chapters in a video game I think I've ever had to put up with. Now the story and the visuals, like, cause the snow area, I thought that was great. This is the one, this was the chapter, this was the level ever since I saw the trailers that I thought was, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. I love snow, I love the setting, especially coming out of the desert. I thought this was going to be a vibe. I kind of know what I'm doing at this point. The videos are doing well. I'm learning more. I'm getting stronger. This chapter beat the shit out of me, bro. From the opening fight with this damn ice dragon here and Baby Buddha pulling it out the freaking bag, fighting this damn thing for the first time. And I think, of course, we do it again here later in the chapter. To getting dropped in this goddamn prison. Worst place in the game. No if, ands, or but. If you enjoyed this prison, you need to seek help. Not only is the prison already a bad location in general, like I don't like the look of it, I don't like the feel of it, but then they got this shit that's slowing you down and making it even worse with, oh God, it was brutal. Y'all have no idea how much I raged that I probably cut out, because it's different between rages. I've learned from doing YouTube. You can have like the fun rage where I'm like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And it's still entertaining versus the rage of just like, is just like, I'm about to fucking quit this game. Like, I'm not having fun. Like, I'm done with it. I'm about to go play something else. Like, that kind of rage. And that's where I was at with this level. And I was trying to find a where I need to, I ain't even looking at this. I'm fast forward. Captain Lotus Vision, the most annoying boss. I made a short about it. The most annoying boss in the game. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's shooting fucking lasers out of his ass. Just Captain Wise voice. Like, this boss wasn't any better. He wasn't as annoying as Lotus, but again, this chapter 3 was just fucking dog shit. The best part of this chapter is whenever you met Kung Lao and he turned out to be an op and we had to fight him. After helping him, bro, just a betrayal. Like, my trust for anyone in this game has slowly started to decrease, because everyone that I tried to help or I trusted, besides like my core friends, of course, that I met, all tried to kill me, and they all end up dead. But this is definitely was the best part of chapter 3 for me. It was a cool boss fight. A little weird, but it was cool. Then we get to the end. We fought a guy called Yellowbrow, and this was probably the second hardest fight for me outside of Tiger Vanguard. For one, he had like freaking 4 to 5 levels. Now, the boss fight in like the cutscenes and the cinematics was very cool, very crazy, and I didn't expect that. Like, it was very fucking cool. So if anything saved this chapter for me, it was this. But it was definitely challenging, and this fight wasn't hard because the fight was hard. This is hard just because I was being a dumbass myself. So this was very cool, and yeah, of course, and animation. I think this one ended up. I think this one is my favorite. Again, aside from the final chapter, the secret one with Wukong, because that one you just can't touch that one. I think this is my favorite animation, because that one told us such a story about this humanity and like greed and like humans, and you can do so much for a person. You can give a person everything they need. You can freaking heal them, give them money, give them a place to live, and any chance they will get, the human greed nature of it will take over. And this one like really shook me. I literally had a dream that night after I finished recording and editing. I had a dream about this too. It was just weird, man. It's not weird, it was just shocking, I guess, and just to see it in this art. And again, they changed the art form, and this one definitely was my favorite animation for sure. Then we got to one of my favorite chapters. This is chapter 4, I believe, and this is just a beautiful love story at the end of the day. Now, I wasn't crazy about all the spiders and shit, but I did find me a location that saved my ass, because this has the best farm area in the game. I'm sure at this point you know it's the area with the with the spiders that you can go in. I just show the best farm area right here. You go in, you hold O, boom. So this is what I did, because if I, mind you, even after this and I gained like 40 levels, I was still getting my ass beat. But I can't imagine people that went through this game that didn't overlevel themselves or did try to farm. I mean, it had to be brutal, especially those last few fights. I don't know how you did it. You have but for me as a YouTuber, like, and I only have a certain amount of time because I'm a dad and I'm a husband, so I still have real life stuff to do. This is not like my main source of income or anything like that. So I have real life shit to do. So I only have a few hours to record, let alone record and edit and do the posting and the marketing and shit I have to do after to get the videos seen. So when I'm dying like on Tiger Vanguard for 5 to 6 hours, like that loses a day, bro, and it's hard. So I was like, I have to speed this up and get through this game, because I want to know what happens in the story, and I need to get these videos out, honestly, before the hype dries down and I get discouraged, so on and so forth. So me being able to farm, oh my god, bro, that made it so much easier for me. Again, it wasn't too easy because I still had to grind. I still got my ass kicked, but I had a little bit of advantage. I have a little bit of confidence, and thank god I did, because whew, buddy. But now that I think about it, I look back, this is probably overall my favorite chapter, because even though I wasn't crazy about the spider area, but this unlocked and opened so much. You know, fighting Pigsy. You found the love of your life. You had the spider shit. I mean, this chapter, I think this was the longest chapter as well too, and I understand why now. And this chapter was unbelievable. From you going from here to finding, from fighting the last long brother, which turned out to be like your sensei guy, and from that point there, opened up this whole new special area, the Purple Clown Mountain, where you had the sickest boss fight in the game, the Dusk Veil. That boss fight was, oh my god. So sick. He changed the lunar system. The fucking skies went red. It starts raining blood. Look at this shit here. Oh, boss fight in the game, at least for me, that shit was just fucking sick. And again, this was a secret boss fight. It wasn't even like on the main. This is a secret fight. And you needed this in order to help you progress at the end boss fight. That again, thanks to the community, I knew that I needed to get this fucking needle thing in order to make that fight easier because people was losing their mind on it. And this is just, definitely my favorite chapter. Easily my favorite chapter. Then at the end, we fight, again, the 100-eyed Doist master that was giving a lot of people problems. But of course, because I went and did the side stuff, I had the vessel that I needed to make his last section a whole lot easier. And at this point, I was overpowered as well. So I beat the shit out of him. And I was so happy because I was able to get the video up in time. I wasn't stressed. I was having a good time. Then shortly after, we get the cutscene up into the animation. There's just a beautiful love story that touched me so much, bro. And besides, the last animation, this one really broke me down and made me cry because I really understood. Again, I'm a lover. I'm a Scorpio. So what's my tattoo at? Yeah, I'm a Scorpio. In American, that just means like your zodiac sign. So we're emotional. We love hard. And the fact that I love my partner, love my wife so much, and like, we always talked about reincarnation and like coming back. She wants to come back as a butterfly, and I was like this. So this stuff we talked about many times over. We've been together almost 10 years, and so to see this, it just reminded me of like if I die and it's me and her. If I was to come back as a pig in reincarnation, she came back as a spider. Like we would find each other and we would try to make that shit work. So this one just absolute love story. Best chapter, my favorite chapter, no question about it. A lot very, very much easy to record as well too. Didn't have really any issues, so very cool. Then we make our way over to chapter 5. Chapter 5 I liked a lot just simply because it was simple. We had 1 or 2 places to go. I can see it was like a more of a vertical type thing, so I kind of knew. I wasn't really confused. I didn't really have to look up many guides as well, because I usually look up a guide, then try to avoid spoilers as much as I can to help me progress again, so I'm not recording for freaking an hour. And so I like this chapter a lot because it was pretty mainstream at this point. We're pretty powerful. I know how to play the game. I know what we need to do. I'm investing in the story. I'm investing in Wukong, so I'm just ready to rock. I know the end is near. I'm trying to get to the end of the game, and yeah, I was just excited. But this chapter was very clean cut. The story was cool with Red Boy and the Fox. I knew she was capping. I knew she was bullshitting, just because, again, how can you get tied up by 2 rolling heads? It don't make sense. Okay, it don't make sense. Then we get to the end. Besides all the side stuff we did, one of the fucking coldest boss designs in a video, not only just Wukong, but in a video game. One of the coldest, look at that. Oh, one of the coldest fucking boss designs you ever going to see in a video game. And this motherfucker was tough. I want to say he was harder than Tiger Vanguard just because his moveset, but because I was stronger, it didn't seem as bad. But if I didn't farm and I went into this fight 20, 30 levels under than what I was, I can't imagine. And even still, my short and my TikTok has went viral because, at the end of this, we get the secret cutscene. Now, this is the cutscene that mostly everyone else got, but I got the different one. DJ put it in post. They got a cutscene right before it. That's crazy. But that's the one that I got, and I still couldn't figure out why. A few people have said if you've done all the secret stuff up to this point, it triggers it, because I didn't technically kill him. I had like 1 or 2 hits left on him, and it triggered it. Thank God, because he probably would have fucking killed me. But this just goes to show how fucking insane this game is, bro. There's small shit like that they change and don't even make a big deal about it, that it happens. Like, it's unbelievable, bro. And as a parent, her trying to save her son, even though he's clearly fucked up, as a parent still going, you know what? I sacrifice myself. And as a parent, if you're a parent, you know that you would do it in a fucking New York second. So I very much resonated with this. And the boss design was sick. The story was sick. Just in animation as well. This story was like the most, like, what's the word? This story was like the most, like holy fuck, with the bull and the monkey. Now understanding, like, that Wukong and the bull was, was brothers, basically. And people explaining this story, like seeing this image here of him telling me, your brother, I'm taking your wife, your son, but still leaning into him going like, brother, you gotta give up. This is done. Like, oh, I'm gonna cry fucking thinking about it, bro. Look at this. Oh, God. Then we make our way to the end game. We get pulled up on by the Supreme Inspectors, this big ass eagle with the fucking red hands. And he was pretty tough, but at this point I was pretty powerful, and it was just me fight myself at this point, meaning I had to slow down, get my perfect dodges, and just beat the shit out of him. Very cool boss. Annoying, very annoying, but very cool fucking boss. And of course, I gotta mention, then we end up getting the somersault, the somersault cloud that I had no idea what was gonna get, and just being able to fly around, zip around. Ah, man, that's the only thing, because I started my new game plus, and as soon as I did it, I went, fuck, because now I got to get back to this point, which I also I'm going to do, because when the DLC comes, I would imagine we're going to have to be at a certain point. Or they may do like Elden Ring did, and you have to do like the secret bosses in order to access the DLC, which I hope they do, which make people that beeline their way and just wasted half of the game go back and actually play the game like they should. So hopefully they lock everybody out, but it's just me because I'm facetious like that. But anyway, getting that cloud, fighting these bosses, getting all the pieces of Wukong's armor to finally get down to the epic showdown, getting the backstory and like seeing his growth, basically his origin story. As we're making our way, then we get down to this final fight. Now at this point, I figured this was the final boss. Obviously, it's the stomach, and I knew he was gonna have 2 transformations. So when I beat him the first time, I was, oh, that was pretty fucking easy. Whatever, you know. But I knew he was gonna have a second form. But then when I beat the second form, and and we all attacked, and I was like, okay, this is the ending. I thought the camera was gonna cut whenever we all jumped, and from that to happen to fucking Sun Wukong, the Great Sage, come back. Oh my God, and like. That's like when the big brother comes home. You know, you've been the man around in the hood, and like big bro get out of jail. I mean, he's us, but just bigger, faster, better, more witty, and just yeah. And the fact that he had 2 forms, and that last form was fucking demonic. His staff just cooler. It was a moment in my video, and I wish I can find it. I but whenever I was doing the pillar stance, and we both was doing it at the same time, and his heels was like way higher than mine. That was like the best visual of all time, because it's just like, oh, you been the man, you been the desert one, but I'm fucking Sun Wukong, bitch. Okay, respect. Honestly, man, truthfully, I didn't think I was gonna be able to beat him, like flat out. And with the time frame that I had, I said, I gotta beat this. But I didn't think I was gonna be able to beat him. So in the back of my mind, I was already, I think I still have the footage. I may could find it. But I was already putting in my mind, like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell everybody, I'm saying, hey, listen, I can't beat this boss. But we're just gonna skip forward. I was gonna find the true ending on YouTube and watch it, and the animation, and watch and react to it, and I was just gonna beat him on another day for another video. Well, I know some people would have been like, oh, you fucking piece of trash, but that was the only option I had, because I had to get that video, because I got a lot more shit to do. And I was fighting him that last time, and I was just like, I'm gonna try one more time. And I got him like down to half. Then I was like, okay, maybe I can beat this guy. Then the next fight I kind of locked in, and I did a little bit better. Mind you, I thought I was done. I was getting ready to start recording. And there was a scene in Doom 2 that I've heard, but I heard in that moment, is whenever Paul finally grabs gets his destiny, and become, the Lisa Gaib. He was talking to his mom, and she was like, what are we going to do? How are we going to go in there? We're going to get killed. And if you saw the movie, you know what I'm saying. He goes, there's a narrow path. There is a way.
I see possible futures. Our enemies are all around us. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through.
In my video footage that I edited out, I think I still have it if I didn't delete it. I'm playing, mind you, this is stuff y'all will never see. I'm fighting, and I'm mumbling to myself, there is a way. I don't know, bro. I don't think I can fucking beat this guy. I can't beat this nigga. I can't beat this dude head on, bro. There is a way. And that right there gave me the confidence. I was like, you know what? I can beat him. And just like a switch that flipped, a switch flipped, and I just had so much confidence, and I believed in myself, to the point whenever he took my flash, which is fucking awesome, and like drunk it, I turned to the camera. That wasn't a cut. That was me doing that. Like, I went to the camera and goes, he's fucking around right now, but I'm about to get this W. That was all like gas, bro, within like the hour. So when I turned back, I knew I was on fucking cooking. Like every move he did was slowing down. It was like I was in the flow state. It's like I literally became, it's gonna sound so nerdy, I became the destined one in that moment. Like I felt all those relics and it just hit me. And that's what happened. I ended up beating him, and thank God I did, bro. It was so fucking satisfying, so rewarding. Not only beating him, but getting the true ending, not, you know, not the bullshit ending, the bad ending. Getting that true ending and experiencing that with you all, man. And plus with all the personal shit that was going on in my life, you know, just like stuff I don't mention, but like this personal stuff that, you know, that we all have our trials and tribulations with and our own demons, and all the shit that I went through to get to this point here, and him pulling this out and just going on to take on the world and saying, fuck it, let's go get it. I mean, the perfect way to end a video game, the perfect way to just end a story, or the beginning of a new story, which we're going to see in the DLC. My game of the year, no question about it. I just love this game. Sadly, I don't think it's going to win game of the year, just because for whatever reason it seemed like the Western, I sound like I'm from, but these, you know, these journalists and media outlets, it's like they got such a hate and disdain for Game Science Studio. If it wasn't for all the IGN bullshit, if it wasn't for them got exclusive deals with PlayStation, they didn't know. Like, they're always trying to put Game Science in some bullshit and not talking about the art they just created, not talking about the fucking amazing once in a lifetime video game that they just gave us. They're talking about the bullshit and not focusing on this fucking banger we just got. Because if this was From Software made this would be the second coming of fucking Buddha or Jesus or whoever. Like, this would be all over. You had that From Software logo on there. This would be the greatest game they ever created in life. You know this. Trust me. I said the same thing about Lies of P. Lies of P would have been rated better if it was a From Software title. If this title said From Software, this would be a fucking 95 on Metacritic. But it don't matter. The shit sold like 18 million at this point. Fan love. I know at the Game Awards is probably, it may not even get nominated, which would be fucking crazy. Everyone that hates Game Science and shits on Game Science and all the woke, all this other bullshit, they're the ones that actually vote on what gets nominated. So I can't imagine the primarily American and UK journalists and media outlets are going to put in this game just based off their hatred for Game Science Studios. But the one award that I do know they will get, which is the fans' choice, which is what all of us gets to vote on and puts them in there, and gets to put them in there ourselves. So they're definitely going to win that. But that's just my opinion from being around here in this gaming stratosphere for a few years now. But for me, this is my game of the year, no question about it. One of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. One of the best experiences I ever played in my life. And yeah, I hope you enjoy my I've never done one of these. I've always wanted to do it. And as I'm losing my voice now, I got to end it. And this probably be my last. Now, this is definitely my last Black Myth Wukong video for a while, unless we get a DLC announcement or a big new mode or something they're going to add to the game. Maybe they add like a boss rush mode or something. But if not, I will catch y'all. And again, like I said, thank you to everyone that's ever donated, watched my videos, share my videos on Blibly, I say Blippy, but on Blibly. I know a lot of my videos are on there. People was like, hey, you should start an account. I don't know about any of that shit. I can't even understand the Mandarin. So listen, go for it. It's all promotion for me. And if y'all having fun with it, just send them over to my YouTube channel. Tell them drop a like, sub to the channel. And a lot of y'all I know I won't see for a while, but just know when they upload, whenever it's Black Myth Wukong or Phantom Blade Zero or something like that, check in with your boy. Until then, our journey continues.